go home.
Mistletoe hydroponics negative.
Red 1, you are clear for takeoff.
Since childhood, a boy named Jack never believed Santa Claus was real. He once stole the key to a cabinet to show his friends the presents adults had prepared in advance, telling them it was all make-believe. Uncle Rick discovered this and advised his nephew to try being a good child if he wanted gifts from Santa. Otherwise, he'd end up on the blacklist and face punishment from dark forces. Jack, however, did not believe such fairy tales. He even polished off the plate of cookies and the glass of milk meant for Santa, leaving not a crumb. 30 years later, Jack had grown up, but he kept his mischievous streak and frequently stole from others. One morning, a mysterious figure hired him to steal data from a geological and maritime agency. Jack immediately focused on a woman who was out exercising. She was a senior department head at that agency. To get past the security gate, Jack poured a cup of coffee into an electrical socket, causing a small fire to draw attention. Taking advantage of the chaos, he swiftly stole the woman's security card, brazenly swiped in, and entered the data room. He attached a device to the cable to track and copy information. After finishing the job, he stepped outside, snatched a child's lollipop, and strolled away without a hint of guilt. Meanwhile, at a shopping mall, Santa Claus was chatting with children about Christmas. Santa's bodyguard was a bald man named Cal. Looking around at the crowd, Cal saw people jostling for discounted goods and, at times, even arguing. It left him exasperated. On top of that, some young punks were shoplifting, so Cal called more security to be on alert. He remained extremely vigilant, allowing no one to approach Santa without his screening. After speaking with the kids, Santa was escorted by Cal down to the basement and brought to a secret military facility run by NORAD. There, Santa was addressed by the codename Red 1. His reindeer, with their imposing antlers and powerful frames, were already waiting to take Red 1 home. First, 2 NORAD jets flew ahead to secure the airspace. Then Red 1 ordered the reindeer team to pull the sleigh outside. They galloped at full speed to charge the antlers, and suddenly shot into the sky. At last, Red 1 cried the command Cavalami, and the entire sleigh instantly teleported to the North Pole. When Red 1 pushed the control lever down, the protective dome automatically opened, revealing a path to a secret city in the Arctic, the true residence of Santa Claus. This entire journey was detected by Jack thanks to the tracking device he had planted at the Geological and Maritime Agency. After transmitting the coordinates to his mysterious client, Jack received a tidy sum. When Cal returned home, he met with his subordinate, a polar bear named Garcia, to check on security. With Christmas fast approaching, Mrs. Claus and her team were working furiously to produce and wrap gifts. The workload had some departments stressed and scrambling. A few people had even quit. Meanwhile, Red 1 kept up his physical training. Surprisingly for an old man, he could manage as many as 500 push-ups. At that point, Cal brought in his resignation letter to present to Red 1. His reason was that he had once loved children deeply, but over the 300 years he had served at Santa's side. For the first time on record, the naughty list has grown larger than the nice list. Corrupt adults have distorted children's behavior, and Cal has lost faith in their innocence. Hearing this, Red 1 tries to reassure him that the world will get better. Cal remains resolute about resigning, and shares one last Christmas cookie with Red 1. At that very moment, a group of strangers moves toward the coordinates Jack transmitted. They fire a plasma weapon to punch a hole through the city's protective dome. As Cal is strolling through the city, taking in the sights, he notices flickering lights in Red 1's quarters. He immediately calls his subordinates to check, but Red 1 is nowhere to be found. Sensing danger, Cal rushes up and finds the balcony wide open. The kidnappers have already fled in a vehicle. From above, Cal leaps down onto the rooftops to give chase. Security dispatches 2 motorbikes to pursue the fleeing sled and raises liftgates to block escape routes, but the intruders veer away. They ram a bridge, collapsing it and sending the 2 motorbikes crashing into the debris. Cal jumps onto a passing cargo aircraft, then drops onto the roof of the getaway vehicle. When it slams into a bridge pier, he's forced to leap clear. The suspects keep blazing ahead. Cal pulls out a miniature vehicle, fires an amplification pulse, and enlarges it into a full-size snow sled. He races after them through the breach they created. Outside, he steers up a snowy ridge and deliberately triggers an avalanche to bury the suspects. He springs off and shrinks his sled back down. But when he opens the door of the captured sled, no one is inside. It was remote-controlled. The kidnappers have already boarded a plane and escaped, leaving Cal helpless to stop them. He immediately alerts Zoe, the director of NORAD. Santa has been abducted. Based on the traces left behind, there were 8 to 10 intruders, and they used an atomic plasma gun to blast a hole in the dome. But the city is a closely guarded secret, How did they even get the coordinates? Zoe recalls that the Geological and Maritime Agency recently reported their intercontinental seismic monitoring system had been hacked. Following that lead, the trolls traced the mastermind to a bounty hunter nicknamed Wolf, whose real name is Jack. With only 24 hours left until Christmas, they have to move fast. Just then, Jack's ex-wife calls, asking him to pick up their son, who's just been disciplined at school for puncturing a classmate's tires. The boy had dared to compete for his girlfriend, so he had to face the consequences. At least, that's Jack's proud take, "That's my son." Dylan invites his father to his music performance that evening, but Jack shows little interest and hands the boy back to his ex-wife. Returning home, he realizes suspicious figures are tailing him. As he's about to enter, he spots dark shapes lurking inside the room. Jack strikes first, flooring one attacker behind him. But there are many more, already lying in ambush with stun guns. One hit freezes the body on contact. Using their weapons against them, Jack fights back, but more assailants flood in. He dives through a window into the opposite building and slides down a drain pipe to escape. Just when he thought he'd slipped the net, a woman inside leveled a stun gun straight at him. It was none other than Director Zoe. She introduced herself as head of NORAD, a clandestine multilateral agency that monitors, rehabilitates, and protects mythic beings. Zoe asked Jack who he was working for. Jack had no idea. Every transaction had been anonymized through a website. As far as he was concerned, if the money cleared, the job was done. Client identities were none of his business. Zoe sighed. It seemed he didn't grasp how serious this had become. All right, box him up and take him to NORAD HQ. She then led Jack on a quick tour to prove mythic creatures are real. First, a black fire-breathing horse. Then the headless horseman, his jack-o'-lantern head blazing inside a containment case. Even after seeing them with his own eyes, Jack still doubted. He claimed the stun gun had made him hallucinate. So Zoe laid it out. Last night, Santa Claus, codename Red One, St. Nicholas himself, was kidnapped. And Jack was an accomplice. By planting a hacking device at the Geological and Maritime Agency, he'd helped the culprit obtain the North Pole City's coordinates. Standing by, Cole pressured Jack to locate the kidnappers. Jack shrugged, uninterested, unless they paid him more than the original client. Infuriated, Cal ordered his aide Garcia to intimidate him. Panicked, Jack relented. He didn't know who the client was, but he could find where they were. Garcia loosened his grip. Cal took Jack to a mall to buy a handful of tiny toy gadgets. They stepped into a room with a space-time portal, emerging in another shop, a relay node on the High North network. Out on the street, Cal set a toy model car on the ground, then fired an enlarger to turn it into a high-performance supercar, leaving Jack slack-jawed. Meanwhile, Red One awoke in a hidden location. His kidnapper was a striking young woman. Her purpose? To punish the naughty children on the blacklist. Red One urged her to stop before it was too late. Extremism would unbalance the world. She ignored him, activated a magical apparatus, and drained his sanctified energy until he collapsed. She took a snow globe from a wooden box, placed it on the device, and infused it with Red One's holy charge to replicate it, creating a second globe. She then ordered her underlings to deliver the duplicate to a man who, as a child, had been on the naughty list, to test whether the copy worked like the original. Jack and Cal arrived at a resort where Jack's fixer appeared to be holed up, surrounded by tattooed bodyguards. Cal wasn't impressed. He warned them to name the broker or eat a fist. One thug grabbed him from behind. Cal clicked his heels, shrank his body to slip a punch, then snapped back with a groin kick to another. He grabbed one attacker by the legs and used him to bowl through the rest. Outmatched, the broker finally showed himself, but refused to name the true client, a vicious, merciless figure. "If I say her name, she'll hear it and kill us all." Cole told him to write it in the sand instead. Jack, absent-minded and curious, read it aloud, Greela. The moment her name was spoken, Greela manifested in her true form. Her terrifying purple eyes rolled the storm in. Black clouds and thunder swarmed over the resort. Greela cast a mind control spell, possessed the broker, and puppeteered his body. Cal immediately put on special goggles to stream visuals back to headquarters, and the NORAD team finally confirmed the mastermind, Greela, the Christmas witch. Despite her childlike face, she is over 1,000 years old. The scar-faced men at her side are her sons, shapeshifters of formidable skill. Greela has risen to punish anyone who lies, makes others wait endlessly, or flakes on drinking plans, adult or child alike. Tomorrow, she declares, every one of them goes to hell, only then will this world improve. With that, she slips out of the broker's body. Out of the sea, an ice cream truck suddenly surfaces. The rear doors fly open and 3 snow monster thugs leap out, snarling. Caught off guard, Cole can't tell what they're planning, until one hurls a throwing blade that instantly freezes a gang member solid. Panic erupts. Cal charges and punches a snowman brute, but it shrugs it off and counters. He shrinks himself in a blink to slip a strike, balloons back to full size, and swings a bench clean through the creature, only for its bisected body to knit itself whole again. Cole climbs onto it and pounds its face. The monster grabs him by the neck and squeezes. In a split second, Cole accidentally snaps off its nose, and the thing disintegrates into dust. Meanwhile, Jack and the broker are fleeing when a sword-wielding snow fiend blocks their path. The cowardly broker bolts, leaving Jack to fight alone. Each slash the creature lands flash freezes whatever it touches. Jack counters by forcing its head into a hot tub. Its face begins to melt. It heaves Jack off and flings him to the floor. Hiding nearby, the broker nearly gets cleaved. He tries to escape but fails and is frozen solid. Jack keeps grappling with the last monster. He jabs a screwdriver into a gas canister, hurls it, then throws a bottle of liquor after it. The gas ignites, blasts Jack into the pool, and reduces the creature to ash. Before he can catch his breath, the blade bearer steps up and touches the pool. The water starts to freeze. Jack scrambles to the edge, but one shoe is trapped in ice. Just as it seems over, Cal arrives and yanks out the carrot, saving him in the nick of time. After this, Cal and Zoe suspect Greela has conspired with Santa's brother to orchestrate everything. That brother has always despised naughty list kids, and he may be holding Santa in the Heaven Terrace realm, explaining why they can't detect Red One's holy aura anywhere on Earth. Cal and Jack head back to the mall, pass through the same transit node as before, and step out in Germany. Cal produces a pickup truck and enlarges it. They floor it toward the Heaven Terrace. On the way, Jack finally asks what Santa's brother is actually called. "If I tell you, you'll be shaken," Cal replies. "He is Krampus, Demon King, and Lord of the Heaven Terrace." Jack gulps. "So, we are going to meet him?" "That's right." Long ago, the Demon King was also Greela's lover. Cal turns into a hair-raising, shadowed cemetery. He warns Jack not to touch or take anything here. At a sealed crypt, Cal powers up his gauntleted arm and hauls open an iron gate. Beyond the threshold lies the Heaven Terrace. Up ahead, two hellhounds stood guard at the entrance to Krampus's castle. Cal pulled out a toy chicken and enlarged it into a real one, the perfect decoy to lure the beasts away. Seizing the moment, the two of them pushed on toward the fortress. Spotting a chest brimming with gold coins, Jack's greed kicked in. Suddenly, the skulls mounted on an infernal cart burst into a blaring alarm. Imps swarmed out and seized Jack and Cal. Jack had filched a single coin, and for that the pair were tossed into a dungeon to cool off. Jack confessed he was drowning in personal problems and debt, out in a desolate nowhere. Who wouldn't be tempted by a pile of gold like that? Cal replied that he expected nothing from Jack anyway. After all, he was on the naughty list. The imps marched them before Krampus for judgment. Krampus was in the middle of a slapping game with a henchman and had just smacked the poor creature halfway to the ancestors. Seeing the intruders, the Demon King flew into a rage. No one was allowed in this realm, let alone thieves of his gold. By that crime alone, he said, they deserved all 18 levels of hell. Cal explained they'd come only to find Santa Claus, not to trespass. Krampus denied any role in the kidnapping. Yes, he and Greela had once been lovers, punishing naughty list children together, but over 2 centuries ago they split, after she stole his glass Catholic orb. It looks like an ordinary snow globe, but its true purpose is deadly: isolation, a one-person prison. Luckily, he said, I wasn't fooled. These days, he added, he'd given up the butcher's trade, Baldai. Now he just lives it up, partying hard. In that case, Cal said, let us go so we can keep searching for Santa. Why should I? Krampus shot back. Because Santa is in danger, Cal answered. Without him, Earth will fall into chaos, and there will be no Christmas. He is also your younger brother. For family's sake, let us go. Krampus was moved, but only enough to release Jack alone. Jack refused to leave Cal, proposing an idea instead. Cal would challenge the Demon King to a slapping contest. If Cal won, both would go free. If he lost, Krampus could decide their fate. A champion undefeated for millennia. Krampus laughed and agreed. The rules were simple. Whoever dies first, loses. Krampus gave Cal the first slap. Cal wound up and hit with everything he had. Krampus didn't even flinch. That a scratch for my itch, the Demon King jeered, sending the imps into raucous laughter. Then came Krampus's turn. One thunderous blow nearly knocked Cal out, but he staggered to his feet, no backing down now, and readied himself for round 2. At that instant, Jack deftly pickpocketed a power gauntlet from a rhinoceros-like enforcer and, as Cal drew back, snapped it onto Cal's arm. The boosted strike landed. Krampus's face snapped sideways, and the Demon King reeled. Jack then enlarged 2 toy robots, which barreled into the imps, punching them sky high. With the robots wreaking havoc, Jack and Cal surged forward and fought the imps head-on. Taking advantage of the chaos, the two made a break for it, bringing the rooster decoy with them as they escaped the Heaven Terrace. After this, they were certain Krampus had nothing to do with the kidnapping. Cole realized he had misjudged Jack. Jack could have abandoned him and left alone. They let bygones be bygones and pushed on together. In the truck, Jack carelessly wondered aloud where Greela might be holding Santa. Hearing her name, the witch sent Jack a gift box. At the same time, Jack's son received a similar box. Dylan assumed it was from his father and FaceTimed to scold him for skipping the concert and sending a thoughtless present. Cole glimpsed a snow globe inside and instantly recognized it as a binding artifact that imprisons anyone who touches it. Before Jack could warn him, Dylan touched the globe and vanished. With no other choice, Jack touched the globe as well to follow his son, hoping Cal would track them both down. Cal immediately called Director Zoe to report. In his view, Greela's plan was to imprison every wrongdoer on Earth. To do that, she'd need to mass-produce snow globes, and the only place capable of that is Santa's complex at the North Pole. In truth, Greela hadn't taken Santa anywhere. She'd been hiding beneath the complex the entire time, executing her scheme. The aircraft and driverless vehicles had all been a ruse. To verify, Cal called Mrs. Claus. From her words, he quickly realized this was a shapeshifter. Sure enough, Greela was replicating snow globes by the thousands for global deployment. Inside one, Jack and Dylan were terrified. After Greela left, Jack told Dylan he loved him and regretted how his childhood mischief had shaped the man he became. Moved, Dylan promised to be a good kid from now on. Their contrition shattered the globe. Turns out that was the key to breaking the curse. As Cal and Zoe reached the underground chamber, Fred tried to stop them. Cole recognized him, knocked him out with a single punch, and the imposter reverted to true form. Jack and his son were preparing to leave when Cal arrived. Together, they freed Mrs. Claus and Cal's security troopers. They surged out to attack the shapeshifters, who, green and unseasoned, were beaten back again and again. Seeing this, Greela seized the reindeer team, harnessed them to millions of snow globes, and Santa himself, and took off. Cal and Jack sprinted after the sleigh, managed to catch up, and climbed aboard. They crept toward her to strike 2-on-1, but she sensed them and hit back first, blasting them in opposite directions. The reindeer's antlers glowed as they prepared to take flight. Sensing disaster, Jack scrambled along the chains toward the carriage and kicked the release latch, severing the team from a sleigh. The sleigh veered out of control, and Greela fell off the bridge. Cole swiftly freed Santa from the glass cage, but the old man was too weak to wake. Moments later, the witch returned in her true form, an 18-meter giant with two monstrous tails, charging straight at them. A fireball slammed into her. Krampus's infernal chariot had arrived. Reformed at last, he'd come to protect his younger brother. Enraged, Greela snatched Krampus with a tail and squeezed, punishing him for boasting too soon. She whipped Jack away with the other, hurling him hundreds of meters. She grabbed Cal in her fist and began to crush him. He shrank himself in an instant and slipped free. By luck, Santa stirred and cried the command, "Cavalami." At the word, the reindeer dove slammed into the witch and hurled her into a cargo hold stacked with snow globes. In the end, Greela was imprisoned by her own enchanted creations. With everything resolved, Santa was deeply moved by his brother's gallantry and expressed his gratitude to the Demon King. Touched, Krampus slipped away quietly. Immediately afterward, everyone rushed to prepare gifts. Only 30 minutes remained until Christmas. Jack and his son were invited to join Santa in delivering presents to children across the world. It turns out Santa can slip down chimneys thanks to body miniaturization tech. Thanks to regular physical training, he can rappel quickly and move nimbly from house to house. Each present enlarges to full size upon delivery. If a light bulb gets broken by accident, the elf service team arrives instantly to replace it. Whenever one gift crate runs out, another is slotted into the sleigh. Everything happens silently and efficiently, so no one ever notices. At dawn, Cole saw that Jack looked just like his younger self. The truth is, when people genuinely repent, they take on the look of a good child. Understanding this, Cole told Santa he no longer wished to resign. And that's where our film ends. Thanks for watching. See you next time.